We're going to do a quick tutorial on wrapping a door handle. Obviously there's so many different variations of handles, there's different ways to do handles. So for this handle in particular, we'll show you how we'll tackle it. So we are using Inozetek material. So if any of you know of Inozetek, super glossy material, it's really nice, but there's also a lot of shrinkage in the material, so you've got to remember to work with that. So you can't just stick it on, stretch it and expect it to last. You need to shrink the material down as you're working. So you need to put tension in it, of course you do, but you need to relax it in certain areas to then just take tension away from those edges. So it's just understanding how to work with that material to get the best result. So let's go through the process. So we've cleaned our handle already. This handle actually has a plastic insert in the middle, so we've only kind of got to do the cap of it. We've also got the lock out here, so we've already put a piece in there. Just so, because again there's too much stretch on the material to put this over and put that all in there, all in one piece. So we put a piece of vinyl in there first. We can go over the top, cut it, fold it in just a tiny bit, so it's really nice and neat, and it'll look like it's wrapped in one piece anyway, if you've done the join nicely. So let's do this. So when stretching the material over, we want to start from like a hard point. So we're going to start from here. We're going to stretch the material across the main body. We've got to remember, because we've got this hole here, we don't want too much tension going across this. We need to keep this relaxed, as relaxed as we can. So got bear that in mind. Obviously good stretch across here will then help the material go all the way in here by itself with shrinking it rather than stretching it. So take the vinyl back, warm it up. So I like to use the bench to just rest my heat gun on. So I'm not going to heat the material up crazy, I just want to soften it enough to get a little bit of a stretch through it. You can get door handle tools to help you out with things like this, but you don't need them, just got to get used to it without. So I'm hooking it on this point and just give it a nice stretch all the way across. And then as I get to this hole, I just want to try and relax it a little bit over that. And a bit more stretch on there first. So I'm trying to keep the hole as cool as I can. So I've got my thumb keeping that material relaxed around it. So we can see if we heat it, a little bit of tension there, but nothing too crazy. But that also has given us a build up of material on these edges now. So we'll work them out in a second. We're just going to get the whole top leveled off. We've also got this little indentation here, so let's focus on that. Again, rather than stretching the material in, we're going to pick the material up, just heat it up a tiny bit, and we want to work this material with a little tucking tool all the way into here, so again we're not adding any extra tension. Feed that in nicely, relax that material again. Cool, so that's the whole top surface done. So when it comes to these edges, what we're going to do is, same as concept as other panels we've been working on, we don't want to put tension across this edge, we want to put it across it. So we're going to stretch this material down into this corner. So you see how I'm just heating this, not here. I'm going to hook it all the way in there. So you can see this is already wanting to go around this. So no matter how much I heat this, it's just going to go around it further, which is perfect. And because we've added this extra material in here now, as I warm this material, it's wanting to put itself into this corner. So there's a tiny bit of tension there, but we're letting that relax itself around this edge now. So we can see we get to that point and there's no extra tension left on that material. So now again, as much as we heat this, we know that's going to last long term, so that's perfect. Same over this side, heating this edge. Bit of tension across this corner, nothing too crazy because it's smaller. And now as we get into this inside corner, just going to warm it up and let the material suck itself in. So with that, the material is pulling itself to our line where we want it. So again, that will never pull back now because there's no tension left in that material. So we're all the way to our edge, but if you can see that, it's here. That's as far as we need to go. Cool, so we do the same on the other side. This angle, so we're using a 360 vise, so we can do things like this, so we can move it into a better position for us, hopefully for you as well. So this corner here is almost doing it for us, so that's quite good, that's easy. We'll focus on this corner first. Again, a little bit of material, a little bit of stretch, nothing too crazy. Just working it across this line again. And again, you'll see this material should want to shrink itself all the way into this corner. So it looks like there's a bit of tension there, but because this goes quite a bit deeper this side, you should see once we get to that point, that tension that was there is now right there, not where we don't want it, which is on that edge. Let me set this back just to show you. So again, we got to our line with no tension. Last one. So I don't actually need to stretch this one much because there's a good stretch on that already. So I'm more shrinking that down to fit the curvature already. So I'm just going to do a little relief cut here as well because I can feel that this material is fighting me. And then I'm going to keep my thumb here, warm up that edge just to make sure I can get it right to where I want it to be. There we go. So now we know we're all the way to our edge on both sides. So now we can go in there and trim that. So we're doing a empty cut, I like to call it, between the interior part of the handle and the exterior. And then we should be able to warm over this, and provided we've done it correctly, the material shouldn't move at all. So perfect. We can go in there with a micro squeegee just to make sure we finish off that edge nice and neat. There we have the inside edge. So my little technique I like to do for the edges of the handles, rather than fighting with the material and trying to tuck it all the way around, you'll get used to finding a balance between knowing how far around you can take it. And because there's tension across this, it wants to put itself in. So I like to do a nice, neat, even cut, just a few mil past that edge. And again, because the tension's coming across this line, I don't have to worry about it pulling back into the handle because that material wants to fold itself round. So I know I've got a really nice neat cut underneath there now, and you can get around really neat and easy. So we'll flip it around to the other side, or we'll do this side while we're here. So what we have got, where this corner is so sharp, is you're always going to have a slight bunch up. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing again, just going to cut slightly big. Got a little bit too big there. However, on this end corner, because it is quite a sharp corner, I'm just going to get my blade in the back and just do a little nip through. So I've just split the material into two, so I can now get a really neat fold on the back edge of the handle. I'll know it's there, the customer won't know it's there, but it will last long term. So now I haven't got to worry about that corner lifting because I haven't stretched it just fold it around nice and neat. Cool. Fold it over to the other side. Cut some of this material away. Double check our edges. Easy. Just going to get a fresh snap of my blade. Blade pop. Nice smooth trims. Lovely. Last couple of edges, and see how well that's wanting to pull in behind the handle already. So you should get a good shot of this shrinking down. Perfect. So we know that's never going to fail. Cool. So the final thing to do is the lock. So again, this is where you just need some good practice with your knife. I'm going to snap the blade again. So what I'm aiming to do is just a few, like a millimetre inside of the circle. So I'm not actually cutting all the way through the material, because it's easier if I can use the material as like a little bit of a table than cutting all the way through, and then it just gives a bit of a messy cut. Come back this way. And if I've got that right, I should be able to pull it away. Knock off that little bit. Cool. And again, providing my stretch isn't too much, should be able to warm this up. Shrink it down. Cool. So last thing, let's just check our inside edges, and then we want to go along and post heat everything just to make sure it's going to last. So this is what we want to see. We want to see nice clean edges. We can neaten this up a little bit now with trimming it, just to make it even, but I don't want to see loads of horrible creases around the back. And we know we're happy with it, which means the customer's going to be happy with it. There we go, finished handle. Hopefully that helps you out.